Hey guys, welcome to what I wish I knew before I started my journey. Oh man, I don't even know if I can put into words everything I wish I knew before I started my journey, but I have done my best to cut it down to, I believe, 5 different things that I wish I would have known before I started. So we're going to jump right in here and go over what we're going to be looking at, and I really hope that you take into account everything that I'm telling you, because although your journey is going to look different, this is what I wish I knew. Okay, so what I wish I knew before starting my occupational therapy business, #OTpreneur. The OTpreneur is something that you can get behind. It's an already established hashtag, but it's just identifying yourself in a group of people who are going after the same thing. And so when you create movement behind what you're doing, it gives you that intrinsic motivation to keep going at it despite all of these hard times that you're going to fall on. It makes the good times even better because you feel like you're a part of something bigger, right? And so that kind of allows you to identify with the deeper elements of entrepreneurship. So what can you expect to learn out of this course? We're going to go a little bit deeper into each one of these points. Weighing the pros and the cons first before you begin your entrepreneurial journey. The fact that it's extremely emotional, it's not an instant process, you are a one-man band, and it is extremely, extremely consuming. So let's jump right into it. So the first element is weighing your pros and cons first. Grab your journal and start writing down 2 columns, right? You have 2 columns. Write down pros and write down cons. Anything that you can think of, you need to put on paper. Not in your head, not on your computer. No, you learn better when you're writing something out, okay? So you can think quicker. Grab your pen and your paper and go old school here. Write down your pros and your cons. Tony Blair said, if you are trying to make a difficult decision and you're weighing up the pros and cons, you have frank conversation. Everybody knows this in their walk of life. Okay, so first thing in weighing your pros and cons, have as many conversations as possible with everybody, your family, other business owners. I have called business owners up that I didn't even know, and I just asked them to have a conversation with me about what it was like when they were starting their business. I joined networking groups that allowed me to sit down and have a cup of coffee, that allowed me to have a cup of coffee with somebody and just hear their story and learn from them. It's the most amazing, insightful conversations that you will ever have when you are doing your own pros and cons list, because the only thing that you are pulling from them is value, and they are able to talk about themselves, right? And everybody wants that, so it's a win-win. Have as many conversations as possible. Next, start crawling. What do I mean by crawling? Okay, so what I mean by crawling is start acting like a Google bot, right? Start crawling over the internet. Start crawling, put out your little tendrils and start taking in what's out there. You're going to need to do it for market research anyways, so might as well get started before you even put down your roots. It's so important to know what is out there. Don't just think you have a great idea and it's going to work, because unfortunately that's not the way real life works. If I'm being very frank with you. I remember when I started Aging with Purpose, and I had my business plan, my model looks, I would say 85% different than what it did 4 years ago. And it was because I didn't do any research. I didn't have any conversations. I didn't do any of that until later. And I've learned my lesson. So like I said, actually write down what you learn and create actual pros and cons list, guys. Just do the work. Write it down on paper. It's going to benefit you in the end, and it's a great way to really find out, do you have a lot more pros than cons, or a lot more cons than pros? That's something that you need to be aware of before you get started. And then finally, don't be impulsive. Please do not be impulsive. Don't rush through these courses and start purchasing all of these, all of these things, just get started right away. There's a certain amount of planning and thoughtfulness that goes into such a huge decision, and that's why we are equipping you with as much information as possible. Certainly, I'm not saying to drag your feet. That is completely night and day who I am. I am a person who is like, okay, all right, we're gonna do this. I have a plan. I have like a vision. So vision, plan, and just start taking steps, and like very, very, very much an action kind of a girl. Always have been, always will be. So I'm not saying drag your feet, but I am saying be thoughtful, get opinions, make sure that you're making wise decisions. The second thing is, it's extremely emotional. This journey, I think so the emotional implications of this journey are enough to cause people to quit, which is why there are not many entrepreneurs out there. What is the statistic? 3% of people who start actually continue beyond the first year. The first year is crucial, and there are so many ups and downs, as you can see from this image. So as you can see from this picture, I included a day in the life of an entrepreneur. It is just like that, and it's not only like that, month to month. It's like that hour to hour sometimes, especially during your startup year, right? I mean, startups really are the first 5 years because so much goes on, but this is the life of an entrepreneur. This is how it will always be. So expect this. Be grounded in this fact. Make sure that, if you have a significant other, or you are with your family, or, your support system, right? We're going to talk more about that as we go along. Make sure they know everything that, you are thinking about and getting into, because it is extremely emotional and you need support. You cannot do this alone. So don't try it. Don't try to do this journey alone. You can't, okay? So just throw that idea out the window. It's extremely emotional. Have a strong why before you begin. Know why you're getting yourself into this. Be passionate about whatever you are getting yourself into. We talk more about this in Niching Down, that training, that video, because it is so important that you are sold out. You are ride or die. Your calling is doing this business, because if you are not 100%, the ups and downs are difficult. So establish a mentor and a social support team. I established mine right off the bat, and I would not have made it this far without that. Establish a breaking point or a fork in the road. So let me just pause here and talk about that. So let me pause here and talk about that. Because of what an investment it is to get set up and begin getting your name out there, it's very difficult to stop a rolling snowball, right? What I'm thinking is, that iconic image of this snowball, like gathering more and more steam as it's rolling down this hill. That is exactly what it's like when you get started, because once your name is out there, and once you start getting insurance companies, once you start introducing yourself to community establishments and collaborators, and your name is out there and it starts circulating, that takes time. And sometimes it takes months. Sometimes it takes a full year to have any type of return. So make sure that you have this idea in your head that, okay, if this happens, I'm done, I'm out. If I get to, 18 months and nothing changes, I'm out. If you reach this dollar amount, then I'm out. Make sure that you have your fork in the road. I never set one because I was ride or die from the very beginning. And then know your emotional red flags. This is a journey. It's going to take a toll on your mental and emotional health. Know your red flags. Know when you need to take 10 minutes and walk away. Know when you need to say, okay, I need a day of R&R. I need 3 days of R&R. I need to just step away from all of this and go for a run. Know your red flags and know how you will address them, right? Make a wrap plan for yourself. Know how to help yourself through different through your hard times. So the third point, it's not an instant process. Steve Jobs said, I'm convinced that about half of what separates successful entrepreneurs from the non-successful ones is pure perseverance. Okay, this is absolutely true. It's not instant. You're in it for the long haul. Anybody out there who's saying that it's super easy and you are going to just get clients like this and all of a sudden you're going to have an Insta business and you'll never have a rough month, if anybody is posturing themselves in that way, be hesitant. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but be hesitant of that because you have to be realistic coming into it. It's not an instant process. You are building your network and that takes a long time. It takes consistency. You have to remain consistent when you begin, and that's how it slowly begins to happen. You have to build your credibility. You have to build your brand. Your brand is yourself. So what kind of things take time? Credentialing and cost revenue structure. So just building that system, like what is it to you, how much you're going to need, what is the credentialing process. Some of the companies I'm credentialed with took 6 months. I mean, that's insane. So know what you're getting into. Be reasonable. Networking, building credibility and clout in your community, determining what marketing vehicle works best for you, because Susie may have the same business as you, be in a different state, in a different region, working with different individuals with different socioeconomic status. It's all different for everybody. It's not a one size fits all, and you need to trial and error that and figure out what is going to work best for your clientele, for your region. And then, like I said, trial and error and fielding surprises, because there will be a lot of them. One-man band. This is just what it is. If you don't have a lot of financial capital, then you are going to be doing a lot of this for yourself. If you're in a done-for-you program, then fantastic. You are going to get a lot of help and save a lot of time. And time is very valuable. It's, in my opinion, the most valuable thing of an entrepreneur's life. So, one-man band. So what does that look like? You're the administrator, the marketer, the networker, the biller, the social media guru, the web designer, you're an influencer, you're tech support, you're the secretary, and you have to figure out time to actually be the clinician or sell your products or complete your services. So it's just a lot. And then finally, it's kind of a reiteration, but it deserves its own point. It's consuming. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I am not saying that. I try to balance myself as much as possible. I'm very dedicated to my family. I love my family more than anything. While starting my own business, I have, in the last 4 years, we've moved 5 times. We've been here and there and everywhere. I've started a family. I have 3 children under the age of 4. It has been a lot, but I've still been able to grow my business from my kitchen table to a 1,200 square foot clinic. So it's not impossible, but it's consuming. You have to be dedicated. That's why I say you have to truly love what you're doing, because if I did not love it, if I was not sold out for my cause, then it would be work to me, but it's not. What I do is fun for me. It's fueling for me. But you know, you have to have a plan. So stay organized. Be very, very organized. Prioritize. Always make sure that you are putting what you feel is a priority at the very top, and then your business gets the rest, right? Do not multitask. If you've never read the book, I believe it's Eat My Frog. I believe that's what it is. Read it. Do not multitask. You'll just burn hours. So don't multitask. Manage your time. Get a calendar. You know, get a good app. Do something to make sure that you are an hour by hour time. You know, time manage. I mean, if you have children, if you have a family, if you have volunteering, if you are doing a million things, make sure that you're writing everything down. And then finally, just a note, make time for what's valuable to you. I highlighted make time because that's exactly what you will be doing. I'm a firm believer that you make time for what is important to you. Even the busiest people will find time for what's important to them. So with that, know what's important to you and know how to say no. There are seasons of life, and if you're headed into this season, then it's okay to say, you know what? These types of events or activities, this is just not a priority to me right now. This would be pulling me away from my goal instead of pushing me towards it. And the people that love you and support you, they will understand that there are seasons for everything. And so just know that you can make time for what's valuable to you. Next steps. Schedule 10 conversations. 10 conversations. It could be family member, businesses, friends, to help you weigh out your pros and cons. Study the websites of 10 businesses in your potential line of industry. This is going to be really good for your marketing research. Create your pros and cons list in your journal and decide the factors of your fork in the road timeline. Okay, so that is what I wish I knew before starting my own business. And the next video is going to be getting started.